You give everything for those you love, but at what cost? Every sacrifice, every forgiveness, every silence drains you a little more. What if the truth you refuse to see is this? Loving without limits makes you vulnerable, manipulable, broken. Machiavelli understood it centuries ago. In a world where strategy trumps sincerity, the one who remains blinded by their heart ends up trampled. This video isn't a call to become cold, but a dive into a brutal and liberating wisdom. Why do those you protect betray you? How do you love without losing yourself? Stay until the end, because what you're about to discover could change forever how you live your relationships. Right? I choose lucidity in the comments, subscribe, and prepare to hear what no one dares to tell you. Imagine a kingdom where every gesture of love is an open door to betrayal. That's your inner world, where you give without counting, forgive without thinking, stay silent to avoid conflict. Machiavelli, that ruthless observer of the Renaissance, wasn't just speaking to princes. He was speaking to you, to the one who gives too much, to the one who forgets themselves. The prince isn't a praise of cruelty, but a mirror held up to humanity. Power, even that of your heart, isn't won by kindness alone. Loving without lucidity is handing a weapon to those who know how to use it. And you, have you ever felt that emptiness after giving everything? This video is a map to escape this trap. Listen closely, because every word is a key. First principle: affection clouds your judgment. When you love, you want to believe in the other. You see their innocence, not their actions. You minimize their faults, justify their silences, ignore that inner voice screaming at you to face the truth. Machiavelli said, "The one who governs cannot love more than they understand." Loving without seeing clearly is choosing blindness. You think you're protecting a bond, but you're sacrificing your lucidity. Every excuse you make for the other is a piece of yourself you abandon. Look at that relationship weighing you down. What do you really see? Are you ready to name what you refuse to admit? Stay, because the answer is coming. Second principle: depending on the love of others makes you a slave. You need to be loved, approved, seen. So you bend, soften your edges, silence your truth. Machiavelli saw it in weak princes. The one who seeks to be loved more than respected ends up betrayed. In your life, it's that person who knows which string to pull to make you yield, who punishes you with their silence when you assert yourself. You back down, you give in, you erase yourself. But at what cost? Every compromise steals a bit of your light. What if you stop begging for their warmth? What if you dare to be alone rather than submissive? The rest will show you how. Third principle: boundless kindness attracts predators. You believe your generosity protects you, that your pure heart will save you. Wrong. Kindness without discernment is an invitation. Those who spot your flaws, your need to help, your inability to say no, approach with a smile. Machiavelli warned, misplaced virtue leads to ruin. Those friends you help despite their betrayals, those loved ones you carry while they ignore you, know you'll never set a boundary. And you, do you keep giving to those who take without giving back? The truth that follows might hurt, but it will set you free. Fourth principle: misguided pity is a fatal flaw. Forgiving feels noble, but when does your forgiveness become weakness? Machiavelli observed, excessive clemency breeds chaos. Every chance you give without consequences teaches the other they can do it again. That colleague who manipulates you, that partner who hurts you, that parent who tramples you. By sparing them, you give them power. True pity isn't tolerating the unacceptable. It's setting a clear boundary. When was the last time you said enough? The answer to that question could change everything. Fifth principle: love blinds you to betrayal. You think you'd see the signs, feel the danger. But when you love, you see what you want to see. You attribute intentions they don't have, justify their silences, convince yourself it's temporary. Machiavelli knew loyalty is rare because self-interest always prevails. Betrayal begins in this imbalance, where you give everything while the other calculates. Look at that person you protect. Do they show you the same loyalty? The truth you'll hear now might shatter an illusion, but it will set you free. Sixth principle: respect comes from firmness, not attachment. You want to be heard, seen, but you choose softness. Fatal mistake. Machiavelli wrote, "Better to be feared than loved, for love is inconstant." Respect doesn't come from your concessions, but from your ability to say no without trembling. Think of those you admire. They're the ones who set clear boundaries, who embody their truth. If you say you want respect, but tolerate disrespect, your words have no weight. Are you ready to set a boundary, even if it hurts? The rest will show you why it's essential. Seventh principle. Ruthlessness can be an act of love. Cutting a toxic tie, saying no, walking away. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. Machiavelli stated, "Cruelty, when necessary, protects order." In your world, order is your inner peace. Staying in a relationship that drains you, forgiving someone who destroys you, is betraying your soul. Ruthlessness is refusing to play a role that suffocates you. It's loving enough to protect your light. Who do you keep protecting at your own expense? Write in the comments, "I will no longer betray myself." And stay, because it's not over. Imagine now a moment where everything changes. You stand tall, look the other in the eye without flinching, say no without apologizing. That moment is the start of your rebirth. But there's an inner battle before you get there. First truth, your emotional loyalty betrays you. You stay loyal to those you love, even when they hurt you. You stay silent to avoid losing them, forgive to avoid hurting them. But in your loyalty to them, you become disloyal to yourself. Machiavelli spoke of maintaining order in a kingdom, but your inner kingdom crumbles under the weight of these silences. When have you chosen their comfort over your truth? The answer might shake you. Second truth, you fear becoming the one you despise. You refuse to be firm, to cut ties, to set boundaries, because you're afraid of resembling those who hurt you with their coldness. So you do the opposite. You welcome, forgive, absorb. But by playing the martyr, you destroy yourself. Machiavelli observed, "The one who fears appearing cruel ends up devoured." Being firm isn't becoming the other. It's stopping the cycle of pain. Saying no is refusing to replicate their violence. Are you ready to set that boundary, even if it makes you tremble? The next part is crucial. Third truth. Ruthlessness is not the opposite of love, but of illusion. You believe loving means accepting everything, forgiving everything, welcoming everything. But that's not love. It's a mirage. You cling to a past version of the other, to a hope that no longer exists. Machiavelli said, "See the world as it is, not as you wish it to be." Loving truly means daring to see the truth. This relationship no longer nourishes you. It imprisons you. Breaking that illusion is painful, but it's liberating. What illusion do you keep holding on to? The answer could change your life. Fourth truth, protecting what limits you stops your growth. Those bonds you deem sacred, a friendship, a family, a love, are sometimes chains. You defend them, justify them, but deep down, you know they hold you back. Machiavelli understood the invisible power of attachments. They keep you in a role that no longer serves you. Staying is stagnation. Cutting is rebirth. Who in your life keeps you small? Will you dare to grieve that bond to become who you truly are? Stay, because the answer is coming. Fifth truth, avoiding confrontation traps you. You flee conflicts, silence your truths, sidestep discussions that disturb. You call it preserving peace, but it's resignation. Machiavelli knew, conflict, when well-directed, transforms. Every silence you keep fuels the cycle of frustration. Confronting isn't humiliating. It's saying, "I see you, and I'm done playing." That simple act can shatter an illusion, awaken the other, or free you. Who are you still avoiding confronting? The truth that follows could be your turning point. Now, let's move to action. Understanding isn't enough. Lucidity without commitment is an empty idea. Here are the acts you must take to embody this wisdom. First act, name the illusion holding you back. Write it down, mentally or on paper. Who do you keep protecting, excusing, idealizing? It's not the other who chains you. It's the story you tell yourself. Machiavelli said, "The one who doesn't see the truth condemns themselves to repetition." Dare to face that bond. Name it. What are you still refusing to admit? This first step is a shock, but it's necessary. Second act, break the pact that stops you from saying no. You think you can't say no because you're too kind, don't want to hurt, or value peace. But that's not true. What stops you isn't your kindness. It's an invisible pact you signed long ago. A pact that says, if I refuse, I lose love. If I protect myself, I'm selfish. If I set a boundary, I'll be alone. That pact formed in your past, maybe in childhood, when you learned that pleasing was the key to being loved. But that pact cost you your truth. Machiavelli warned, the one who wants to be loved at all costs loses all authority. Whisper this to yourself. I have the right to say no, even if the other resents me. It's not harshness, it's justice to yourself. Who are you afraid of disappointing? The answer could set you free. Third act, stop fleeing confrontations. You hate conflicts, but every silence is a debt your body pays. Machiavelli said, a problem ignored grows in the shadows. Saying what you feel, setting a boundary, expressing your discomfort. It's not destroying, it's existing. A simple sentence is enough. What you do hurts me. If the other shuts down, gets offended, or attacks, it's not you who's the problem. It's them. What conflict are you still avoiding? Dare to cross it, because that's where your growth begins. Fourth act, redefine love. You think love is never hurting, always understanding, always forgiving, always welcoming. But as long as you hold that definition, you'll keep suffering because you confuse love with erasure, sacrifice, the dissolution of your own voice for the other's comfort. True love has nothing to do with that. It's demanding, it's sharp, it doesn't stroke the ego, it calls for truth, not submission. Machiavelli didn't speak of romantic love, but he understood the power of a misunderstood idea. He knew that what people call virtue is often a mask to avoid fear. And in your life, that's exactly what you do. You use the idea of love to avoid setting boundaries, to avoid disturbing, to keep giving. Even when everything in you screams that it's enough, you say, I love them, so I stay, even though staying dims you. You say, I don't want to hurt them, even though every silence you keep hurts you. You say, I understand them, but you no longer understand yourself. Redefining love means starting to say, I have the right to love and say no. I have the right to love and leave. I have the right to love and protect myself. Love isn't a hole where you must lose yourself to prove your loyalty. It's a force that should bring you closer to yourself. And if it demands you forget yourself, it's not love. It's an emotional hostage-taking. What you must grasp today is that you can love and set a boundary. You can love without accepting everything. You can love someone and recognize their place in your life is over. It's not cruelty, it's discernment. And that discernment will save your heart. For a heart without boundaries ends up drained. Love that harms you isn't love. It's a pact you must break. Fifth act, reclaim your emotional energy. You may not realize it, but every day you lose a piece of your energy in bonds that no longer nourish you. You think about people who no longer think of you. You reread messages that mean nothing anymore. You offer your attention, your forgiveness, your tenderness to absent presences. And that energy you let slip away in silence is your strength, your light, your ability to act, create, think clearly. It crumbles because you still refuse to close certain doors. Machiavelli said, the one who doesn't break in time prepares their own fall. In your inner world, this means you must learn to recover your emotional power. Stop scattering it in scenarios that no longer belong to you. Stop reliving every conversation. Stop dreaming of a change that doesn't come. Reclaiming your energy starts with recognizing that what you feel is precious. You can no longer offer it without discernment. You must choose who you let into your inner world. Observe who makes you calmer, clearer, truer, and who leaves you drained, anxious, confused. Your body knows, your breath knows. You feel when someone exhausts your soul, but you keep going because you're afraid to close, afraid to be alone, afraid to be judged. Yet, it's by closing that you start to find yourself again. It's by withdrawing your energy from what dims you that you rekindle what awakens you. You can't grow if you stay emotionally tied to what pulls you backward. You can't evolve if you keep feeding dead bonds with your living attention. So today, make that choice. Cut the channel. Reclaim your energy. Stop responding to what makes you regress. It's not a lack of love. It's a declaration of alignment. And your alignment is worth more than all the illusory connections you maintain out of habit. Your attention is sacred. Don't waste it anymore. Sixth act, train yourself in lucid ruthlessness in the small daily gestures. You might think ruthlessness is a grand decision, a dramatic break, a decisive confrontation. But in truth, it starts much lower, in the invisible, in the small choices no one sees. That's where you build or destroy your inner authority every day. When you respond to that message, even though you know it's a repetition. When you apologize again when you've done nothing wrong. When you stay silent in a conversation where you should have said, "No, that doesn't work for me." You think it's nothing, but it's everything, because that's where you betray yourself, and that's where the other learns how to manipulate you. Machiavelli said, "The one who wants to inspire respect must embody coherence in their actions." In your life, this means be firm in the details. Don't say yes when you think no. Don't smile when you feel contempt. Don't apologize for your lucidity. Ruthlessness isn't an explosion. It's a presence, a way of being, a posture that says without shouting, "I'm no longer available for what destroys me." And you must practice this posture every day. Train yourself to say no faster, cut sooner, respond later, breathe before reacting, withdraw quietly. You don't need to explain everything. You don't need a conflict. You just need to stay true to your feelings. It's by practicing this fidelity in mundane gestures that you become solid. And the more consistent you are in these details, the less you'll need to justify yourself in big decisions. Because people will eventually sense, you're not playing anymore, you're not bending, you're not allowing, you're not letting things slide. Lucid ruthlessness isn't a stance against others. It's loyalty to yourself. And that loyalty starts now, in the choices you make today, not tomorrow. Seventh act, stabilize your new inner posture over time. You can understand, decide, even act once, twice, 10 times. But as long as you don't solidify this inner posture over time, you'll fall back. Because the old you is watching, it doesn't die right away. It waits for your moment of fatigue, your moment of loneliness, your moment of doubt. And there, it returns, whispering, "Be lenient, make an effort, it's not that serious." And slowly you slip back. You start excusing everything again, tolerating everything, absorbing everything. That's why this act is essential. It's no longer about a gesture. It's about discipline, a form of anchoring, a slow fidelity to your lucidity. Machiavelli said, "It's not the first victory that matters, but the ability to maintain order after the conquest." In your case, the conquest is clarity. And now, you must live it day after day. It starts with rituals. Every morning, remind yourself who you want to be. Every evening, reassess. Where did I give in? Where did I betray myself? You write, you observe, you redefine, you nurture your posture like tending a flame in the wind. Because everything around you will invite you to become the old you again, to become conciliatory, to become vague. But you're no longer vague. You become sharp, without violence, calm but unshakable. And to make it last, you must sometimes distance yourself from those who pull you backward. You must stop justifying your transformation. You must learn to walk alone for a while until your new way of being is no longer an effort, but a given. Stabilizing is turning a decision into a state. It's no longer a reaction, it's an identity. You no longer pretend, you no longer hesitate, you embody. And what you embody then, no one can take away from you. You see clearly now. Love misunderstood is a cage. Kindness without limits is prey. The fear of displeasing is a betrayal of yourself. Machiavelli doesn't ask you to become cruel, but to become lucid, to choose your truth over their comfort, to set boundaries where your heart bleeds. This video isn't entertainment. It's a wake-up call. Write in the comments, "I will no longer betray myself." Subscribe because every video here is a step toward your sovereignty. Share this truth with those still trapped. And remember, ruthlessness isn't hatred. It's fidelity to your light. So, Who are you still giving a place they no longer deserve? What will you do tonight to choose yourself? The next video will take you even further. Stay awake.